It's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Hello viewers and welcome back to another video by Happy Reading and Exploring. So before we jump into the video today, I have some facts to be cleared up and some myths to be busted right now. So the first thing is Hindu, the word Hindu. To be clear cut and straightforward, Hindu word doesn't point to a religion or a caste. It is just a term used for the people living in Hindustan, which is starting from the Himalayas till the sea under India, which comes between India and Sri Lanka. So for the people living there, the term Hindu is used since a long time. But unfortunately, in today's world, whenever we think of Hindu or we speak of Hindu, the first thing which comes into our mind is a religion. So most of the people are unaware of this. So I just thought that this thing should be cleared up. So the second point is ancient texts or the Vedas. So the ancient texts or the Vedas I will be talking about today won't be pointing towards Hindu as a religion. Like, first of all, Hindu isn't a religion, but just in case if we are taking Hindu as a religion also, these ancient texts and Vedas do not point to Hindu as a religion, because the ancient texts and what all methods are given there, what all is written there, that is not only for the specific purpose of the Hindu religion, it's for the whole world to use, because all the ancient texts are based on 100% science. So there is no such thing which is like supporting Hindu culture or Hindu religion. It's for the whole world to use, because it was written 5,000 years ago, and 5,000 years ago we didn't have segregated religions. People were just segregated on the basis on where they live and what their geographical location is. So ancient texts do not refer to any religion. Now comes in the language Sanskrit. Sanskrit, many of us know and many of us have a misunderstanding about it. Sanskrit is the oldest language in the world, and it is just a language. It also does not point towards a specific religion, because people still think that whenever a word in Sanskrit is spoken or something in Sanskrit is said, it refers to the Hindu religion. But it is of course not like that. Sanskrit is just a simple language, and since it is the oldest language in the world, it is obvious that texts written 5 to 10,000 years back, they would surely be written in Sanskrit. So these were the things which I wanted to clear up to avoid any kind of fogginess or any kind of misinterpretation in the future. So without wasting much of your time, let's jump straight into the video. So today's topic, ancient texts. Well, our sages had written down some techniques and some practices around 5 to 10,000 years ago from today, which are still relevant in today's world. But unfortunately, people of the modern era, or we can say that people who are dependent on the Western culture of education, only perceive that what the West has achieved till now, that is paramount education. These people ridicule these ideas, they call them superstitious and religious, and unfortunately ignored them. But now when step by step the Western science is coming towards the height of our ancient science and our ancient texts, then people are slowly starting to believe it. And in fact, the irony is people in India itself, like, they have such a rich culture, but they ignore it, saying it is superstition and it is religious, etc., etc. But now, as I said, when the Western culture is catching up with our ancient texts, they are believing it. For example, let's take the simple action of namaste, keeping your hands together and bowing down to respect a person. That thing wasn't considered much of a thing until now, when even people from the European countries, from the Western sides, they are incorporating the practice of namaste to avoid transmitting the disease or avoid physical contact. But now when the Western side has started to do such things, then people are in India are growing to know the knowledge about it, that yes, namaste is very safe and it's something we should go for, just because the Western side has already started doing this. So this is the irony of life. So this thing was something which had to be spoken about, and today's video will be about some practices and some techniques which our sages had written down, as I said, 5, 6, 10,000 years ago. And according to my personal experience, Children in school are never taught about the Vedas, the ancient texts, and what I think is that teachers or the education system mainly, it thinks that Vedas and ancient texts, these things might point towards religion and it might promote one religion, demote another one. But as I said in the previous part of this video, that ancient texts and Vedas do not have any connection with religion. It is just 100% science and it is for the use of the whole world. Children are taught about ancient philosophers like the Greek philosophers, Roman philosophers, Egyptian philosophers, but never are they told about the Vedic culture, which was, in fact, is the most advanced science you can ever find at any point. Because 2,000 years ago also, plastic surgeries took place in India, brain surgeries took place in India. But modern science is now just getting towards it. It is just advancing in that progress. But still people are there which term these things as superstitious or religious. And Janu Das, Hare Krishna at ISKCON Mayapur, he has typed down some lines which are quite relatable and quite true also in today's world. He says that our teachers neglected to tell us that at a time when people in Europe carried clubs and lived in caves, or in the Middle Ages when people were burned for saying that the sun is in the center, the Vedic culture had already described advanced mathematics, the universe and its planets in minute detail. So can you imagine, like 5-10,000 years ago, people exactly know what's going on in the universe, what are the planets, and etc. etc. But as I said, they are just ridiculed and termed superstitious in modern era. Now coming on to the practices and terms and techniques which our sages had set up. Number 1 is saliva. They had already said that saliva should not be transmitted from one person to another, as it also might communicate the disease from person A to person B. But these ideas were ridiculed and they were questioned. Now for example, let's take a birthday party. A single piece of cake is fed to, let's say, 4 to 5 people. Saliva is being transmitted, right? And thus there might be chances of people getting ill. But just for the sake of a birthday party, these things are ignored. But now when the coronavirus, such a dangerous pandemic, has come across the world and it's spreading at an alarming rate, people are now getting these things into their senses that you should not sneeze like that, should not cough like that, cover your mouth while coughing, etc. So this is what our sages had the capability of. They had written it 5,000 years ago, but it is still relevant today. I'm tired of saying this, but it is the truth. Modern era is seriously ignoring these things. And then comes in virus which is spread in the air. They even had a practice to defeat these kind of viruses or diseases also. What do you do when you know that a virus is spreading via air? Mask. Modern people think of mask, but can you seriously think about it and say that mask can reduce or they can deplete fully the virus spreading or the disease spreading via air? Our sages had a technique for this also. Dhuni or Nityagnihotra. It is a sacred practice of purifying the air with the help of the purifying god Agni, which is fire. And still, the modern era people, they ridiculed it. They said that how will it cure the disease? All these things are superstitious. So much of ghee will be wasted, and it would create so much of smoke, pollution, etc. But there is hardcore proof present for it that Nityagnihotra literally purifies the air, and it is related to quite a famous incident, the Bhopal gas tragedy in 1984. Everyone must have heard about it. So the factory of Union Carbide, the factory leaked a dangerous gas which was methyl isocyanide, and people were dying or running for their lives out of their homes, out of their streets. So there were two families which regularly practiced Dhuni or Nityagnihotra. So at night when they heard the commotion outside, they got up and when they checked what's happening, they got to know about the gas incident. So they decided to shut up all the windows and doors and then decided to perform Nityagnihotra, because they had nothing to lose. If they went outside running for their lives, most of the chances are that they might have died. And even if they are healthy and they're alive after performing Nityagnihotra, they can prove to the whole world that the Vedic science isn't just superstition. And it turned out that when most of the population of the street or of that particular area had perished or was in a critical condition, these two families were alive and healthy. Alive and healthy. So that is the power of Nityagnihotra, which unfortunately today's people, they ignore it. In fact, now the West has also turned towards Nityagnihotra. There is a dedicated temple for the purifying Lord Agni in USA. But why don't our own Indians, why don't they practice such techniques? That is a question I have answered till now. The modern science, their belief on Western culture. And then comes in the number 108. Now you all might know that 108 has an influence, or it has a powerful place in our ancient texts. But it isn't just for superstition, or it isn't just like that. The diameter of the sun, the earth and the moon, and the distance between them, all these things are somehow related to 108. Now can you believe this? 5 to 10,000 years ago, people were aware that the diameter of these three solar, so like these three things, sun, earth and the moon, it is specifically that this, and the distance between them is specified in the ancient text. But people ridiculed it, and now when modern science is catching up to that level, now people are getting to know that yes, 108 does have some meaning to it. And we cannot entirely blame the people believing on the modern era as well, because the fault might be in their education system as well. As I said earlier, people or children are never taught about such ancient texts or the Vedic culture, the Vedic science, terming that it would be superstitious or it would be religious. But now when modern science is catching up to it, things are being revealed. And I must say this, but the modern science has just discovered a minute part of the Vedic culture, because Vedic culture and Vedic science has a vast area to be explored. So concludingly, I just want to say that these ancient texts must be revered, they must be respected, and they shouldn't be followed blindly, of course, but you yourself go and retrospect and think about it. You will for sure find out the reason behind it, or at least a logical reason behind it, and then follow those practices, whatever is possible in your area, in your house. So that was all for the video today. Hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to drop a thumbs up and comment down what all you want me to work on and what all topics you want me to talk on. Hit the subscribe button as well and ring the bell icon right next to it, so that you get the notifications as soon as possible. So let's end this video here till another new video pops out. And yeah, one more thing. I've just recently joined Twitter, and my Twitter handle is @SparshNithin, S capital and N capital. Instagram sparsh.nithin HRE_IG. Let's end this video once again here till another new video pops out. Keep reading, keep exploring, keep watching. Happy reading and exploring. Peace out.
Mr. Boombastic, say me fantastic. Text me now, me back, she says I'm Mr. Romantic, clearly fantastic. Text me now, me back, she says I'm Mr. Smooth, just like a silk, soft and curly. Hug me up like a quilt. I'm your lyrical lover. No take me for no pills with my sexual